Welcome back to another episode of What Should I Get Pierced? My name's Scott Wilkinson. I'm a professional body piercer, and I have been since 1994. Now on the show, we're going to take a look at 6 people. We're going to look at their faces and their ears. I'm going to tell you what would be great possibilities for piercings and ultimately what I think would look best on them. Let's get started. First up, we have Molly. Now, Molly here already has a nostril piercing, and I like things symmetrical, so I think maybe another possible nostril piercing on the other side would be kind of fun. But she also did mention she's looking at possible Medusa piercing or a septum piercing. Either way, I think all of those piercings would look really good, either one by itself or as a whole group. Now, other possibility here I would say automatically would be that vertical labret. You can see the pouty lip, a nice vertical labret I think would be super, super cute. And as far as other piercings, I could see an eyebrow piercing for sure. Just a single one kind of off to the side. But now as far as my ultimate picks, I am going to say the Medusa and the vertical labret. Now let's take a look at her ear. Now, her ear is already pretty well decorated. We can see the tragus piercing. We got the 3 helix piercings up here. The stretched lobe, which looks like it's possibly 1/2 inch, maybe even 5/8. And of course, that extra little piercing there. Now, what else would I add to this? Now, the theme looks beautiful already. I love like the mother of pearl or the abalone style shell around the ear there. I would say possibly something more ornate here. We need some sort of a gem there. And then if I was to do more piercings, I could see a doff. You see how the doff would kind of fill and complete. You have the outside and the bottom, and this kind of fills the forward and the middle at the same time. The same effect could be done with a conch piercing if you did some sort of a larger cluster on the inside. There's also the possibility of some forward helixes. I'm not sure if the rook touches the forward helix. You wouldn't be able to get away with it, but that is a possibility. Now, as far as my ultimate picks, we got to go with the doff. Now, if you like what we're doing here, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot. Now, up next, we have Janae. So let's take a look at her face. Now, right away, there is a couple nose piercings. We got the nostril piercing and the septum piercing. The trifecta. Got to do that other nostril piercing, and all 3. I love this look so much. Now, as far as other piercings beyond that, oh, such a great smile. We need to decorate your lips. I could totally see here is the angel fangs. See how we do kind of like the Monroe and to like the vertical lip like that? Do a set of those on each side. You know, you don't necessarily always have to have the spikes. I think cute little gems, little beads on there would look super good, but with that smile, it really accentuates it. Now, another possibility here would be just a simple labret down in the middle of her lip to kind of pull things center with the trifecta and that labret. High nostrils. Get away with high nostrils for sure, because the glasses aren't going to fall down on there. Now, as far as my ultimate picks here, I'm going to say a labret and turn it into a hoop when it's all healed up. Now, let's take a look at Janae's ear. Now, when we look at her ear, some of you may have some questions, and what I'm talking about is for the snug piercing. You can see that there are these discs on both sides of the ear here, and those discs are no-pull discs. Generally, when you get a piercing and you get a big bump on your piercing, a lot of times these can help press down and compress that bump and get it back to looking normal. Generally, these work really well, and sometimes you need to wear them for quite a while before they have full effect. But that is what is going on. So congratulations on trying to get rid of the bumps in one of the better ways. Now, over time, once the bumps go away, you're going to need to downsize, put a shorter bar in there, get those discs out, and you'll have a normal looking piercing again. Now you can also see that there is the heart-shaped ring inside the ear there. Super, super cute. And we also see a tragus piercing, a forward helix with some scar tissue next to it. That scar tissue a lot of times could be gotten rid of as well with that no-pull disc once she's done with the snug area. Up top here, this is another new trend which I see quite a bit. This is one of those 5-gem clusters. Normally it follows the curvature of the ear, but the trend is to put it upside down so it kind of scoops in like that. I love this look. I think it's a really fun look because you could even do more that kind of follow down the, well, maybe not that third one there, but you know what I'm saying? You can create different shapes and it gives it more of a ornate, fancy look. Now, another thing we could do here as far as piercings, we're getting pretty full already, but I would say maybe some sort of a flat slash anti-helix piercing right inside here. I'm not sure about the right type of jewelry. You can see how it almost creates a triangle, so maybe some sort of a trinity up in there would look really, really cool. So now, as far as my ultimate picks here, heal it up, but I just say the flat. That's what all you really need. And the next person we have to look at is going to be Mike. Now, Mike has had a lot of piercings in the past, and he's retired all those, but he said it's time to redecorate. So, where are we going to start here? Right away, septum piercing. Mike, we need a septum piercing on you. I think that would be really, really cool. We could also get away with nostril piercings. Now, you can tell that the nostril's nice and thin. We could get away with two smaller, little lower set studs on one side or on both sides and wear two tight rings once everything heals up. The only reason we can do that is you can see how thin that nostril is and allows you to get away with that. As far as other options here, high nostrils would look really good because it looks like your bridge here is nice and parallel. So high nostrils, let me try that again here. High nostrils. Yeah, that would be cool. I could also see angel bites, but the high angel bites. I want to make this popular right above the mustache. Those are rad. And then also, you can see that he already had his lip pierced once over here, but you could redo that one and match it up on the other side. Looked like it was more of an asymmetrical look before, but if we did snake bites like that, septum, high nostrils, there's a lot of options here. And the other fun one we could do here would be an Ashley. You can see how the lip is kind of flat. We can do a cool little cluster. We could do a small gem. We could do a plain bead. Lots of options. Now, as far as my ultimate picks here, septum piercings and snake bites. Let's take a look at his ear. All right, so checking this ear out. We got stretched lobe. You can see that that's stretched maybe ½ inch, maybe 5/8. Kind of hard to tell. Now, as far as new piercings go, he's had industrials before. You can see how the light's coming through, so I want to work in this flat area right up in here. I think what I would like to do would be 3 across the top, one like just like so. I think with the right types of gems, a bigger one in the center, and maybe 2 smaller ones off to the side would be really, really fun. We also have the doth piercing, plenty of room for a doth ring. I could also see forward helixes. As a matter of fact, it looks like there's enough to possibly even do 4. They'd have to be kind of close, and it depends on if there's enough room inside this pocket here. But forward helixes. The tragus right here is not real prominent. I would probably stay away from that. And the only other option would be maybe a conch piercing here. Either the single or the double. Now, as far as my ultimate picks, I'm going to say the triple helix and the double conch. All right, and up next we have Jane. So let's take a look at Jane's face. Now, when I look at Jane, automatically I am drawn to her lips. So I'm going to say the Medusa piercing right up here would be absolutely stunning. Now, another possibility would be the Ashley piercing. You know, right in the color part of the lip. Nice, beautiful gem facing out. Now, Ashley's are problematic if you wear a lot of lipstick, but I don't think she needs to wear any makeup. So that would be beautiful. Now, another option is going to be high nostrils. You see how the high nostrils would work really well as long as she's not wearing glasses that rub up against it. Nice tight septum rings. I'll wear you super, super cute. And if she doesn't do the Ashley, a vertical labret. Vertical labret would look really, really nice. Now, as far as my ultimate picks, I would have to go with high nostrils and the Ashley. All right, let's take a look at Jane's ear. Now, when we're looking at Jane's ear, you can see that this helix area right up in here, the fold across that skin looks kind of tight, so you're not going to be able to fit any larger clusters or big gems in this area. So you want to keep it kind of smaller, something more rounded so it doesn't poke or irritate the skin. Now, if you want to do helix piercings and you got these to heal up nice, once these heal up, you can put rings in here which sit nice and flat across the ear, and that's my favorite look for a ring in a helix piercing. They're tougher to heal up, but they look so beautiful when they do. Now, the other options here I would say we want to go with would be a conch piercing. You can see it's nice and deep, so you can fit a cluster in there. Once it heals up, wearing the ring all the way around the ear as well as those helixes. Beautiful. Now, another fun thing we could do here would be the anti-tragus. This area does look like it sticks out enough to where we could put a little curved barbell in that direction. We could also do a tragus piercing. Tragus piercing with a disc on the back there. Now, when we look at the doth, it looks like this area is a little bit shallow, so it probably wouldn't support the doth very well, but the rook looks absolutely perfect. We can do a nice curved barbell right in there. And then another fun thing we could do is the anti-helix. This is the anti-helix running up the ear. We could do the multiple piercings, going small to larger all the way across the top. Now, as far as my ultimate picks, I would have to go with the triple helix and the conch. And next up, we have Catherine. So when we look at Catherine, already a beautifully placed nostril ring. You can see how that almost hugs her nose perfectly. That's what we're looking for when we're looking for a nostril piercing, especially with a ring. So if you were able to do another one right next to it, so you have the double nose ring right in there, or even matching it up on the other side. Another one we could go with would be the Medusa philtrum area. You can see how that area supports a large gem, a large cluster, or something real dainty, something super, super cute in there. Now, another thing we could do would be vertical labret. See, there's plenty of room there for the vertical labret piercings. Bridge piercing. Now, this is what we're looking for a bridge. You can see how there's a nice ridge right here, and it kind of gives a little bit of depth. So we were able to put a couple beads on each side. Now, these do leave scars, so if you're afraid of the scars, you don't want that for the future, it's not the right thing, but you look like you'd probably be the right candidate for a bridge. Now, another thing I haven't mentioned here today would be a dermal anchor. You can see how there might be a nice, in the side of the cheek right there, a nice gem, super cute, and maybe a vertical eyebrow piercing. A little further in, you don't want to go too much of an angle because it kind of creates a little bit of an angry, probably a little less than that, probably closer to that. Yeah, that's more of a calmer look. So that's another possibility. Now, as far as my ultimate picks, I would want to do a bridge piercing and a Medusa. Oh, and that other nostril too. Let's take a look at her ear. Now, when we look at her ear, I love these pieces of jewelry. We call them trinities, just a little triple bead. They work so well in so many places. So, super fun piece of jewelry. You see there's a couple other lobe piercings down here. As far as adding more, I would love to pierce this doth. This doth is very well pronounced and looks like it would heal really nice. Looks like we could also do a rook piercing right up here. If you wanted to go with the rook, if you had the doth, probably wouldn't have room for both of them. It looks like this area right in here is kind of shallow for any sort of forward helixes, so you'd want to be careful about that. If there's enough room, definitely go with that. And I would say possibly another helix piercing up above. I love the doubles like that. As far as my ultimate picks here, I would have to say the helix, the doth, and a conch. Our last submission of the day is going to be Targe. So let's take a look at Targe's face. Now, so when we look at Targe's face, starting off the trend, just like a lot of the other people here, the nostril ring. I love nostril rings so much, can't believe everyone already doesn't have them. But with that, let's add more. Another one to the other side, the double nose ring look, possibly septum piercing, gestrum piercing. That would be super. Yeah, I definitely vote on the gestrum piercing for Targe. I could also see dolphin bites. 2 close together lower lip piercings right at the bottom of the lip. And a bridge piercing. Speaking of parallel piercings, just like the dolphin bites with a bridge would be a really cool combo. And last option here, double eyebrow piercing. I haven't seen or suggested that in quite a while. I like the double eyebrow, obviously. Now, my ultimate picks for Targe would be the nostril, the bridge, and the dolphin bites. Let's take a look at his ear. All right, so when we're looking at Targe's ear, you can see the stretch lobe, probably ½ inch, maybe up to a 5/8, but there's plenty of room down below, so keep stretching. Now, another fun thing we can do is pierce slightly above it and actually start stretching that. So you have the larger plug on bottom, and as you go up, it's a little bit smaller, but still kind of stretched. Now, the other fun thing is a conch piercing. You see how it comes to a point. These look like they're meant to be pierced. You put a nice big gem right in there, and that gem is like all the attention's brought to that one spot. Fun option here would be a rook piercing. You can see how this kind of comes down at that angle. So the rook piercing, just like so. I mean, just imagine that with a conch in there. See how that just all flows? You can see how this whole area, the anti-helix, could support many piercings going on the way up his ear. So with that, probably 3 of them. That's good placement there. Or if you didn't like that and you wanted to bring it out, you could do 3 helix piercings going down the ear. Options for these piercings are endless. Now, as far as my ultimate picks, I would say the rook, the conch, and that extra lobe. Now, that all winds it up for today. What'd you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and hit that like button. And, of course, keep putting holes in your body. We'll see you on the next video.